So hello everyone, today we are going to learn how to write a balanced chemical equation. Okay, we have seen that in a chemical reaction, okay, some substance they combine with each other to form a chemical reaction. That reaction can be shown by means of a chemical equations. Okay, but these chemical equations need to be balanced. So today we are going to learn how to balance these chemical equations. Now before learning how to balance this chemical equation, let us revise about some terms which we have learned last year, that is atoms and molecule. Okay, atom means, we have learned in 9th standard that atoms are the smallest indivisible part of a matter. Okay, now here this HO, this indicates the elements. Okay, these are the symbol for the elements. Okay, now here H indicates that there is only one atom of a hydrogen. O indicates that there is only one atom of oxygen. Now remember that when two or more than two, okay, atoms combine together, then they are known as a molecule. Okay, now for making a molecule, atoms of a same element may combine together, or we can consider another example, atoms of different element can also combine together. Okay, so let me revise once again that atoms, now elements, they can be represented by this form, by the elements they can be represented by the symbols HO. Now this H represents that there is only one atom of hydrogen. Okay, one. O represents there is only one atom of oxygen. Now this H2, it represents that there is, I am writing it here, H2 means one molecule of hydrogen, and in this one molecule of a hydrogen, two hydrogen atoms are present. Okay, you have to understand these things. What? That in H2, one molecule of hydrogen, and there in one molecule of hydrogen how many atoms are present? So two hydrogen atoms are present. Okay, now if you are clear in this, then it will be easy for us to proceed further. Okay, now let us consider an example. Now here we are having H2SO4, that is hydrogen sulfate, or we can also consider it as sulfuric acid. Okay, now in this sulfuric acid, okay, if you want to find that how many atoms are present in making one molecule of sulfuric acid, then we have to decide, we have to find that now here some numbers are written after the alphabet, that is after the symbol. Okay, so what does it indicates? That there are two atoms of hydrogen, one atom of sulfur, and four atoms of oxygen. Is it clear? Okay, so now remember one thing. Suppose if I consider a symbol, let us consider one more molecule. If I am writing here H2, now what does it indicate? That there is only one molecule of a hydrogen. Okay, and in one molecule of hydrogen, two atoms of hydrogen are present. Now suppose we'll keep this part aside and we'll focus on this one. Okay, so now what we have to do, now suppose in this one molecule of a hydrogen, okay, suppose if I write here 3 here, so now what does it indicate? First, before that, make it clear. This 3 okay, now we are having two type of markings. Now this 3 is present before hydrogen, so in our general language let us consider it to be prefix, and this 2 is present after the symbol of hydrogen, so this is suffix. Okay, so this I am considering at prefix and this one as suffix. Okay, now in this prefix and suffix, make it clear that you cannot change the number of suffix. We are only supposed to change the prefix. Okay, so I am writing it here that this cannot be changed. Okay, it will be as it is. Okay, but prefix it can be changed as per our convenience. Okay, so now let us see it once again. Now when it was only an H2, okay, at that time we told that there is one molecule, okay, of hydrogen, and in this one molecule of hydrogen how many atoms are present? So we told that 2 atoms of hydrogen are present. Okay, now in this 3H2, I'm bringing it here, in this 3H2, now remember this prefix number it multiplies to suffix. Okay, so now the total number of hydrogen are, before that let me tell how many molecules. So this H2 is a molecule, so how many molecules are present? 3 molecules of hydrogen are present. 3 molecules of hydrogen are present. Okay, and in this, okay, how many hydrogen atoms are present? So we will multiply this suffix with this prefix. So 3 2s are, so there are 6 atoms of hydrogen. Okay, you have to make this difference, you have to understand this difference, then only it will be easy for you to understand the next part. Okay, so I think this must be clear to you that what is a molecule, how to know that how many atoms of a particular elements are present in a molecule. Okay, now let us see another example. Okay, now we are having an example, that is sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4. now remember that here what is the suffix? H2. what I told that we are not supposed to change this suffix. Okay, if no number is there means only 1. So there are 2 atoms of hydrogen, 1 atom of sulfur and 4 atoms of oxygen. Now suppose if I am making a change over here, I am just writing here 2. Okay, now as soon as I am writing, let me write it with a different color. Okay, so I am writing here 2. now as soon as I am writing here 2, the number of these things, these atoms will change. How it will change? Now this 2 will multiply with this suffix. Okay, so 2 2s are, so now this will become 4. Okay, then 2 1s are, so this will become 2. Okay, and 2 4s are, so this will become 8. Okay, so now when I have written here 2, the total number of atoms are changed. Previously there were only 2 atoms of hydrogen, 1 atom of sulfur and 4 atoms of oxygen, but when we have written here 2, so now there are 2 molecules of sulfuric acid, and in this there are 4 atoms of hydrogen, 2 atoms of sulfur and 8 atoms of oxygen. Okay, now let us solve, let us try to balance some chemical reactions. Okay, now here we have an example. Okay, now this is an unbalanced reaction, we have to check whether it is balanced or not. Okay, so what we are going to do now, first initially you have to write what are the actual number of atoms present in it. So here Zn means zinc, there is no prefix, no suffix, so it means that how many are present? So we will write here 1, that is 1 atom of zinc is present. Then now hydrogen. Okay, how many hydrogens are present? So yes, we have a suffix over here, so we can say that there are 2 atoms of hydrogen. Okay, then sulfur, there is no number after sulfur, so we can say that there is only 1 atom of sulfur. Then oxygen, there are 4 oxygens present over here. Okay, so I am writing here 4. Now this was LHS part and this is RHS part. Okay, balancing the chemical equation means you have to write the equal number of atoms taking part, okay, in the reactant side, and the same must be in the product side. LHS generally it is known as the reactant side and RHS is nothing but the product side. Okay, so now how many zinc atoms are present on the product side? So there is only one zinc, one sulfur, 4 oxygen and 2 hydrogen. Now we have to check whether are they balanced or not. Okay, so on LHS there was only one zinc. Okay, so on RHS also there is only one zinc, so we can say that now zinc is balanced. Okay, now on LHS there were 2 hydrogen atoms. Okay, on RHS also there are how many hydrogen atoms? 2. Okay, so now we can say that our hydrogen is also balanced. Now on LHS there is one sulfur atom, on RHS also there is one sulfur atom, so we can say that this sulfur is also balanced. Now the last thing is that on LHS there are 4 oxygen atoms, on RHS do we have 4? So yes, we have 4, so this one is also balanced. So now we are not going to make any changes in the prefix. Remember, again I am telling that we are supposed to make changes only in the prefix, okay, not the suffix. Okay, so now this one is a completely balanced reaction. Now let us consider another chemical reaction. Now in this reaction you can see that now I think it will be easy for you to identify that how many elements, how many atoms are present. So now there is one atom of iron, that is ferrous or iron you can say, 2 atoms of hydrogen, 1 atom of oxygen. On RHS side we are having 3 atoms of ferrous or iron, 4 atoms of oxygen and 2 atoms of hydrogen. Okay, now we have to check, okay, is it balanced or not? So here we have 1 ferrous, here we have 3 ferrous, so clearly it is an unbalanced reaction. Okay, now here we are having 2 hydrogen, here also we are having 2 hydrogen, so no matter hydrogens are balanced. Oxygen, here we have only 1 oxygen, but here we have how many oxygen? Here we have 4 oxygen. Okay, so we will do one thing, I am writing this reaction one more time downside. Okay, I'll copy it. So we have Fe plus H2O, that gives us, okay, let me write it separately a little bit. Fe plus H2O will give Fe3O4 plus H2. Okay, so now here we are having, I am writing it with a different color, here we are having 1 atom of ferrous, 2 of hydrogen, 1 of oxygen, here we have 3, 4 oxygen and 2. Now let us start balancing this chemical reaction, okay, as it is unbalanced. Now remember, when we are balancing we have to balance one by one. It is just like a trial and error method, we have to go on balancing it. Okay, so now first we are having here 1 ferrous, here we are having 3 ferrous. Remember, when we are balancing the chemical reaction we cannot write here 3 and make it 3. No, the suffix cannot be changed, we are supposed to change only the prefix. Okay, so now when I write here 3, so this 3 will multiply to this 1. Okay, so now what are the number of ions over here? So there are 3 ions. Okay, now is ion balanced? So yes, our ions are balanced. Okay, now what is the next one which should be balanced over here? Now next I have here two hydrogens. So here also I am having two hydrogen, so no need to make any changes in this hydrogen. Next I have here one oxygen, and here we have four oxygens, so this need to be balanced. Now we cannot write here 4, so I have to write, to make this one as a 4, I have to write here 4. Okay, now when I write here 4, okay, so this 4 will multiply to all of these suffixes. Okay, so now what are the total number of hydrogens? Now the total number of hydrogens on LHS side is 4, and oxygen is, so the total number of hydrogens are 4 2s are 8, and oxygens are 4 1s are 4. Okay, now if you come at this side, do we have 4 oxygen? So yes, we have 4 oxygen. Here also we have 4 oxygen, but here we have only 2 hydrogen, and here we have 8 hydrogen atoms. Okay, so now what we have to do? Okay, so now we have to balance this one also. Now how to make this 2 as 8? So we will multiply this one by 4. Okay, so now when you are multiplying this one by 4, okay, so this will become 4 2s are 8. Okay, now again check, do we have the same number of reaction, same number of atoms or not? Okay, so we are going to highlight it, okay, with this red color. Okay, so now 3 ions, that is 3 Fe. So yes, we have 3 Fe, so the number of ions are balanced. Okay, let us choose some different color. Okay, so these are balanced. Now we have 8 hydrogens. Here do we have 8 hydrogen? So yes, this one is also balanced. Now next, what do we have? We have 4 oxygen. So do we have 4 oxygens over here? So yes, we have 4 oxygen. Okay, so what is our final balanced chemical reaction? So you have to write it at the end. So 3Fe plus 4H2O gives Fe3O4 plus 4H2. Okay, so here we have learned only how to balance the number of atoms. Okay, so remaining things we will see afterwards. Okay, now let us consider one more example. Okay, now let us see next example, that what happens when calcium oxide, okay, calcium oxide, it reacts vigorously with water to produce slaked lime, that is calcium hydroxide, releasing a large amount of heat. Now if you know the formulas of these compounds or of these substances, then it will be easy for us to balance the chemical reactions. Okay, so now it is given that calcium oxide, so calcium oxide is written as CaO. Okay, now it is reacting with what? So it vigorously reacts with water. We know that the molecular formula of water is H2O. Okay, then to produce, so to produce means we have to put here an arrow mark. What? Slaked lime, which is known as calcium hydroxide, releasing a large amount of heat. So now calcium hydroxide is written as CaOH2. Now as it is told that it is releasing a large amount of heat, so we have to write here plus heat. Okay, now there is no role of this one in balancing the chemical equation. Okay, now what we have to do? We have to write the number of atoms taking part in this equation. Okay, so here we have 1 Ca, so we will write it here 1 Ca. Okay, let us see on the other side how many Ca do we have. Yes, here also we are having only 1 calcium. Okay, now remember that, okay, left hand side how many, here we have 1 oxygen, and here also we have 1 oxygen. So in all there are how many oxygen? There are 2 oxygens. You have to remember these things. Okay, now on the RHS side, okay, first we'll complete the LHS, and here we have 2 hydrogen. Now let us come to the RHS side. Now remember that here this OH is having a bracket. What does it mean? That this suffix is only for the elements which are present inside this bracket. It is not for this one. It is only for O and H. Now does it have any further suffix? No. Then 2 into 1. So there are 2 atoms of oxygen, and 2 into 1 again. So there are 2 atoms of hydrogen. Okay, now we have to check whether it is a balanced chemical reaction or not. Okay, so yes, can you say whether it is balanced or not? Okay, so check it one by one. Okay, so here we have 1 calcium, here also we have 1 calcium, so calcium is balanced. Okay, now here we have 1 oxygen plus 1 oxygen. Both these are present to the reactant side, that is to the left hand side. So total we have 2 oxygens. So do we have here 2 oxygen? Yes, so it is also balanced. Okay, now here we have 2 hydrogen. So do we have here 2 hydrogen? Yes, we have 2 hydrogen. So hydrogen is also balanced. Okay, so there is no need to make any changes in any of this one. Okay, so in this way you have to balance the chemical equation. So this much is enough for today. Thank you.